So Bernie Sanders went on Anderson's Cooper show. I think it's called 360 on CNN. And one of the things Bernie talked about was how horrible Joe Biden would be as a candidate if he were to go up against Donald Trump. And Bernie does a great job laying out all those reasons Joe Biden would fare so horribly against Donald Trump in a presidential general election. Let's take a look.
I are friends, and I truly like Joe. But what is imperative is that we defeat Trump, the most dangerous.
Sorry, I always find it very, I don't know, just heartwarming, and it's just such a Bernie thing to say that, he always prefaces, any type of criticism of Joe Biden's, record in the past or things he's supporting now with that, Joe Biden's a good friend of mine. I just find that very, very hilarious, Bernie.
In modern history, and that means you're going to have a huge voter turnout. You're going to have to get working people excited.
Obviously, Joe Biden, does not have any type of grassroots support compared to what the Bernie Sanders campaign and movement represents. There's a reason why Bernie has the most individual campaign donations to a presidential campaign in history at this point, as well as all of the, Democratic fundraising that he's doing, and only taking those small dollar donations. He's not, having these closed door fundraisers like Pete Buttigieg that aren't open to the public or to reporters. He doesn't take billionaire money like Joe Biden or super PAC money like Joe Biden. And Elizabeth Warren, she's not taking any, those big fundraising bundlers money, which she did, I guess, for her Senate campaign, her re-election campaign, and then she transferred, I think, 10 million over. She's not taking that now, so that's good. But Bernie still, he's just the best choice that that we have, and it's not me, us. It says it all right there.
You're gonna have to get young people excited. Joe Biden voted and helped lead the effort for the war.
And that's something that Joe Biden has been lying about, and even CNN, I saw an article calling it out. Joe Biden was trying to flip it and say that basically he never supported the war in Iraq.
The most dangerous foreign policy blunder in the modern history of this country. Joe Biden voted for the disastrous trade agreements like NAFTA and permanent normal.
And he also supports the NAFTA 2.0, the USMCA, the Trump trade deal that has nothing in it about the environment. I guess it even has some more friendly regulations towards exporting Canadian tar sands, one of the most environmentally damaging ways to extract oil, and a number of other things. And Joe Biden supports NAFTA 2.0 as well as Elizabeth Warren as well.
Trade relations with China, which cost us millions of jobs. You think that's going to play well in Michigan or Wisconsin or Pennsylvania? Joe Biden has been on the floor of the Senate talking about the need to cut Social Security or Medicare.
That's super important to point out, especially because Joe Biden usually has higher support among the older age groups in the United States. So Bernie has the highest support of young people of any candidate, presidential candidate, or Donald Trump. But it's important for people to know that Joe Biden, when he was in the Senate, as Bernie so eloquently points out, that he was open to cutting Medicare and Social Security or Medicaid, these super important programs that, benefit the, everybody in the United States to a certain extent. Social Security is a universal program that was created, after the Great Depression by FDR to, keep people from starving, keep elderly people from, going homeless or starving, or, keeping them out of poverty, basically. And Joe Biden was open to cutting that. Like, if you're, in those older age groups, even if you're not, that I feel like that's a disqualifying reason to, even think about supporting Joe Biden. You know, Bernie's always about been has been about, I should say, protecting Social Security, expanding it, as well as Medicare and Medicaid. And so, you know, if you are in that age group who receives any of those type of benefits, or you're in that position in your life to receive those benefits, or you will be in the future, or you are currently, then you know Joe Biden's open. You know, once he's president, I could see him compromising with the Republicans and crafting some deal to cut those benefits, and that would be hugely problematic for the working class of the United States. But Joe Biden doesn't care.
Yeah, or Medicaid. Joe Biden pushed a bankruptcy bill,
Mm-hmm.
which has caused enormous
Yep.
financial problems for working families. So if we're going to beat Trump, we need turnout. And to get turnout, you need energy and excitement. And I just don't think that that kind of record is going to bring forth the energy that we need to defeat Trump.
Damn, Bernie just laying into Biden there, and so perfectly, and it's all based on the facts. It's not any type of like personal attacks or lies or mischaracterizations. He's criticizing Joe Biden on his horrible record, things he's voted for and advocated for in the past, like the Iraq War, like NAFTA, like the bankruptcy reform bill, like the Iraq War, and the list goes, on and on. So, not me, us, Bernie 2020. There's so many reasons to support Bernie over the other candidates, and that's not to say he's not, perfect, and we should criticize him from the left when it's warranted and hold him accountable, and God willing, hold the Sanders administration accountable to a progressive, populist left agenda once in office. But with that said, he is our best hope in the movement that he is kind of the figurehead of and represents, to create a real, transformatively positive revolution in the United States to, make sure that everybody has a decent way of life, and has things like education, or free college, and universal health care, and pre-K, and a social safety net, and a clean environment, and a green infrastructure, all of these different things. He is the best prospect we have of enacting these much needed changes in the United States, as well as drastically changing our foreign policy as well.